Hey YouTube, back at it again with another video. This is What to Watch, March 2021. There ain't nothing to watch in March. There ain't nothing to watch. You might as well click on some Grey's Anatomy season 3 and keep going. Read a book. Let's get started. This is Medialit, where we don't just sprinkle diversity for taste. No. It is integral to the recipe. If you are new to this channel, this video is basically to save you time so that you don't spend 2 to 3 hours looking for a movie to watch that is only an hour and 40 minutes long. This is my list, my recommendations of movies to watch. First up in the films category, I just finished watching Moxie. It is a movie about a young teenager who starts a series of feminist protests at her high school, and it's directed by Amy Poehler. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I laughed. I didn't cry. No, I didn't cry. But I do think it was better than Cats. If you're a feminista like me, or maybe if you're just looking for a teen movie or a family-friendly film, this is it. It's a really long film. It's almost nearly 2 hours long, so get ready. It's a really good film. I like it. And then another film, highly anticipated film, coming to America. That's on Amazon Prime starting March 5th. If you haven't seen Coming to America, the first film, I don't know what to tell you, because you literally, you've been slacking. And I need you to reevaluate your priorities in life, okay? I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this film. I've heard people say, oh my god, this film is amazing, it could stand alone, doesn't even need the prequel. But I've also heard people say that this film is one of the reasons why they cannot stand sequels. I have not watched it myself. Some of the most hilarious people of all time are in this film. Let me know what you think. Next up is a film that I'm actually really excited about. It doesn't come out until April 2nd. Concrete Cowboys is a Netflix film about a boy who goes to visit his estranged father and finds community in a Philadelphia group of black cowboys. Flavor is giving me notes of black fatherly love, similar to Moonlight, but not as gay. Or maybe it will be gay. If you are not immediately sold on this film, let me just say one thing. Idris Elba is going to be in this film, and I'll leave it there. There's some shows coming out in March. The first one is Marriage or Mortgage. It's a home improvement show where couples have to decide, like, do you want your dream wedding or do you want your dream house? The show feels very realistic compared to other like home improvement shows, HGTV type shows. You know, the homeowner is like, yeah, my budget is like $1.2 million, but I definitely cannot go over 1.3. So here's a show that I think will be very interesting to watch. Genius Aretha. This is a 6-part docu-series about Aretha Franklin coming out on Hulu on March 22nd, but you could watch it a day earlier live on the Nat Geo channel if you got Nat Geo. So Genius is a series where in the previous seasons 1 and 2, they only focused on white men. I believe season 1 was about Einstein and season 2 was about Picasso. This show is coming at a very interesting time, so it's premiering March 22nd, which is kind of like this weird sweet spot between Black History Month and Women's History Month, so it's technically like Black Women's History Month. Anyways, so here's a show coming to Netflix on March 12th. The One is based on a novel by John Mars. It's a mystery thriller about a new DNA test that can match people to their perfect mates, even if these people are already in successful relationships. So this is giving me a lot of Black Mirror vibes, but it's also reminding me of the AMC Network's show Soulmates. So if you start watching The One on Netflix and you're like, I like the premise, but I don't like this show, I don't really want to finish this show, then you could start watching Soulmates on AMC. The difference between the Soulmates and The One, I feel like The One follows more of the creator of that kind of technology, whereas Soulmates has the more of a Black Mirror style of episodes where each episode is on a different set of characters and it focuses on the effect of that technology. Another show I am so excited for Good Girls Season 4 is coming back to NBC, and it'll also be on Hulu starting March 7th. Something about Season 3 felt very off to me.
The ending of Season 3, going into Season 4 was tough because we had 3 episodes left to do, and then we just stopped like the rest of the world.
So there's a few kinks to work out.
I'm really hoping that they pick things back up in Season 4. BADTRIP is a Netflix series coming out on March 26th. It stars Lil Ray Howery, Eric Andre, I know Tiffany Haddish is in it. It's giving me like these cornball comedy type vibes. Like, it's really corny, but I think I'm gonna check it out. Because I really like Lil Ray. Eric Andre is not my favorite, but I do like Tiffany Haddish, although she can also be corny sometimes.
Oh my God! Don't kill nobody. I'll kill every single.
Yeah. The show is a mix of scripted comedy as well as real hidden camera pranks, and it follows 2 friends on a road trip journey to New York City. Next up is Warren Stories, coming out April 1st. It's a show on Netflix where people basically describe their favorite item of clothing and why it's their favorite. This is for the fashionistas, but I also think it's neutral territory if you are hanging out with someone who's kind of difficult to please. Alright, now the documentaries. Seaspiracy is coming to Netflix. This one examines the global fishing industry. This will be like a really good deep dive investigative documentary about all of the ways in which human beings are absolutely terrible. Another documentary that I am excited about, Tina, is coming out March 28th on HBO Max. Before Beyonce, before all the other rock stars out there, Tina Turner was doing her thing, okay? She was doing it. So Tina is a documentary about the iconic rock star Tina Turner, and I just don't want the whole eat the cake anime scene to be what we think about when we think of Tina Turner, because that was such a small part of her life, and her life is not even close to being finished. So let's give her flowers while she's still here. Okay, here's some things that I'm skipping, and you're not gonna change my mind. The Irregulars, coming out on, I think it's coming on Netflix on March 26th. It's based off of the Sherlock Holmes novels. I just feel like I'm tired. I mean, especially after Bridgerton, I don't trust these British drama time period pieces that all of a sudden have a diverse cast. First of all, I'm very much over time period pieces about anyone in Europe. I don't care what color they are, yellow, blue, black or white, green, purple, in a sight, I don't care. Like, if we're gonna talk about the 14th century, take me to somewhere outside of Europe. The other show that I'm skipping for very, very valid reasons is American Gods on Starz. So if you haven't heard, Orlando Jones, who plays the iconic Mr. Nancy on the American Gods series, he also was a co-writer for various characters on the show. At some point last year, the show got a new showrunner who is an old white guy who thinks that he knows more about black people, black culture, and what black people want and how black people like to be entertained than actual black people. Yeah. So Orlando Jones was fired from the show because this showrunner did not like how outspoken Orlando Jones was about the things that black people are dealing with, the things that black people care about. So I'm not watching this show because 1, I want to support Orlando Jones, 2, fuck that white guy and whatever horse he came on, and his racist mama and his racist grandma. 3, if Orlando Jones was such a pivotal part in the writing of so many black characters on this show, then I'm going to assume that when you remove Orlando Jones from the show, you're also removing all of his impacts, all of those great lines and scenes and dialogues that we got from the previous seasons.
Another chocolate brown, caramel yellow, high yellow, red bone refugee girl with melanin in her skin gets snatched every 30 seconds. And to make matters worse, these dazzling new plantation owners built a pipeline to take our children from school to prison quicker than a cut can bleed.
If Orlando Jones ain't write it, I don't want it. Because it was beautiful last season. So this season, I don't care. Y'all could keep it. So like I said, not much to watch in March of 2021. But let me tell you what I watched in February.